for $100, $80. This is that second screen over here on the right side. I wish I can have like 10 of these. Makes life so easy. I can move things here and there. It helps to have multiple screens. Yeah, definitely buy one of these. If not two, I recommend two. So you would have three screens, your laptop, and two of these portable screens. They're called portable monitor. Portable monitor you can buy from Best Buy. The best thing to do is buy from Amazon. You can buy it for like $100. Maybe I'll give you a link. I'm not too good with buying things from Amazon, honestly speaking. I'm doing great, everybody. Now let me see. We have the time is 12:05. Anybody here should be able to share a link, even on your Facebook, on your Instagram. These 4 weeks, we want everybody to try out. This is our second week. We have 40 hours free learning. And I want every single person, even if you have like a young kid that wants to learn about IT and they're in high school and they want to know what IT is and how to work with Linux, I want them here. And so please share on your Instagram, share on Facebook, tell this to your friends. Amazing opportunity to learn some basics of IT. I'm not teaching you basics, by the way. I'm teaching you really, really advanced level stuff. I mean, look, if you can understand this concept over here, that there is a one server which has a CPU, which has a RAM, and which has a hard drive, okay, and it has a network card. That network card has an IP address, has a subnet mask, has a default gateway. Okay, you know these things now, right? IP address is must needed for any machine to be online. So you need to have some IP address, some logical number. It must show like this: 192.168.1.11 or 1.12. It could be anything, any number over here. This number looks like this: 255, 255, 255 dot zero. Okay, and this is usually is similar to this, but the ending is always 192.168.1.1. Okay, now this server also is running some sort of operating system on top of this. Okay, and this operating system, ladies and gentlemen, basically sits on a bare metal machine or on a virtual machine. This, we can talk about it, whether this is a bare metal server, whether this is a VM, or a cloud instance. So three type of things it could be at a given point in bare metal, virtual machine, instance. I've been talking about bare metal, so I'm going to assume this is a bare metal server, maybe a Dell server, right? So now, to be on the network, what should it be must connected to? It should be connected to a switch. Usually 40 ports. These are physical ports over here. Okay. And so usually you would plug it into one of these ports over here. This is switch. Okay. This switch is then, ladies and gentlemen, connected to a router. Physically, these devices look different, but this is how their symbols or icons are. And the router, ladies and gentlemen, router over here. Okay. The router, ladies and gentlemen, takes your machine out to the internet. This cloud usually is representative as an internet, right? And so then you go to the internet over there, somewhere on the internet. You are sitting somewhere in your home. Now you're in your home and you have yourself a laptop and you're sitting right over here, and you're working on your laptop. And on your network, ladies and gentlemen, this laptop is probably connected to a router. And again, this is a router. And there's also a switch on your network. Usually, if you're at home, switch and router is a one device. And guess what your laptop has, ladies and gentlemen? What does this laptop has on the other end? This laptop also have an IP address, subnet mask, default gateway. This laptop is also running an OS. In this case, you're probably running Mac if you're a rich guy, a rich girl. And if you're an average Joe like me, you're probably running Windows. Yeah. If you're not a fancy person, you're probably running Windows, because you're smart. You don't want to spend too much money on a same thing that does pretty much same thing. This Mac or Windows box is connecting you to my server right over here. So now this server, ladies and gentlemen, also has a name, just like you and me have names. What's the name of this server? It's Linooop.ddns.net. You are connecting to the server. This is a picture. This is how you're able to connect to Linooop server. So far, so good. Everybody's okay on this. Talk to me in the chat. Raise his hand. Okay, no problem. All good so far. So yeah, if you understand this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, you're pretty good. You're expert. Okay, this is not an easy stuff to understand. There's a lot of things going on. Remember how I talked about the IT components, the core components of IT? So we see in here a little bit of everything. We see hardware, laptop is a hardware, server is a hardware. We see networking going on over here and networking equipment, which is hardware as well. Switch, router. And on top of all of these numbers, they are part of the networking. They connect things. Remember we talked about switch connecting all the devices on a network isolated from the entire universe. Now, if you want this switch or this network, you want it to be part of another network, you need to bring in a router. So router routes the packets, the traffic between two different networks. Switch forms a network. If you understand these things, you're good. Another hardware over here, physical server over here. And then we have a software over here, operating system on both ends. So in order for these two devices to communicate, they have to have physical layer, which is the laptop and a server on my end. They have to have a software, which is the OS layer, which is the operating system. In your case, you have a Mac and Windows. In my case, on my server, I have Linux running. And then you have a networking, IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. And then you have wires. Believe it or not, we are connected wiredly from your home to my place. We are all physically connected, believe it or not. In your home, you have a wireless networking going on, but as soon as the traffic leaves your home, it's all wired network. All right. Some of these packets go through under the sea. And so I'm going to show you how many devices, how many routers your packet goes through before it comes to my server. Okay. We're going to teach you that in this class. This is not a basic stuff. This is advanced level stuff. All right. So somebody's saying my laptop is connected to router instead of a switch on home side. Like I said, at your home, they've intelligently put router, switch, and they made the signal available through the wireless in a one device. So corporate networking is slightly different than home networking. We're going to talk about corporate networking. We're going to talk about what happens at a Fortune 100 company, what happens at a Fortune 500 company. Fortune 100 company, by the way, means the top 100 companies, top 500 companies based on their revenue. Why I keep talking about these Fortune 100 and 500 companies? Because that's your a desired company to work for, because they have the best benefits, they have the best packages to give you, they have the best work-life balance. So we're going to target, most of my students end up at the Fortune 100 companies. Nobody told you this. They're easy to get into. Small to mid-sized companies are very difficult because they're looking for one person who can do everything. Whereas these top-notch companies, They will limit you to a specific task, specific responsibilities. They don't want you to make errors. They don't want you to make mistakes. So we are going to aim for the Fortune 100 companies to get a job in that company, and it's doable. Okay. This is our state of the networking right now. and by the way, so now imagine, how did you get here? How did you get to my server when you click on that link, the terminal link? Well, your machine, ladies and gentlemen, knows my server's host name. So when you type HTTP in your browser, you are giving this name in your browser. And then your browser knows that it's going to this machine. And then it magically brings you to a terminal. We will one day look at how this is all happening. Okay, but not today. Again, what is Fortune 100 company? Fortune 100 company means the top ranked first 100 companies globally. They showed up at a Fortune magazine at some point. They have the highest revenue. So if they have the highest revenue, they probably have the best equipment, servers, networking, infrastructure, IT, state-of-the-art IT. And we want to be part of those companies because we can learn, we can grow, and we can take our career to the next level. Okay. All right, so this is where we are at right now. So when you type in this name, you are basically coming to the server. We're going to talk about what happens when you're at this server. Okay. Now, everybody should be on a terminal, which we helped you last week, rather on this Wednesday, to get you on a terminal, and we got your access sorted out. Now, to my team and the panelists, please help everybody that's having a problem logging in, and just set their password. No matter how many times I tell you, just choose a very easy password. Some of you decide to get fancier and you end up not remembering your password and you mess up somewhere over there. So no problem. If you missed the class, you missed the class. There's nothing much I can do right now. I'm not going to go back to cover those topics because somebody already expressed their concern that, you know what, you're very slow and it's not fun learning from you. And I take that very personally. I am a good teacher, man. I want to teach you guys. Now, therefore, send a message to the panelists. They will help you with the access part. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and work with you guys to log in to my machine right over here. Where's my screen? All right. It's perfect over here. And by the way, can you guys see my screen? Hold on a second. Let me do this. Let me bring this screen over here rather, and then I'll work from here. Now I'm going to go ahead and share once again. Share screen one. And this is where I am at right now. I'm going to move my chat window on the side, which is perfectly over here. Can I use VMware to install Red Hat Linux? Yes, you can do that. But down the road, I'm going to show you guys how to install Linux. But there's no need for you to install Linux right now. By the way, this is the link I shared with you guys. These are all of my students on the right side over here. Now, let me just see. I'm going to lower your hands right now. Let me just see show of hands over here. Those of you, why are you raising your hand? I didn't even ask the question yet. Why are you raising your hand? Please listen carefully. Those of you who do not have login to this terminal, you were not able to log into this terminal. In my case, I forgot my password. No problem. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to create an account for myself again, ASAD. And I'm going to say AKHTAR. I'm going to say Asad B. ABC123. Okay, my account has been created. All right, so there's not that many of you without the account, so we can go ahead and proceed. I am going to go ahead and come back to this page once again to log into the terminal. Now my username is Asad B. Password is ABC123. I'm logged in right now, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect. Now, let me go ahead and check how many of you are logged into the machine. There's only 87 people logged in right now. That's no good. Why you guys are not logged in right now? If you don't log into the server, you won't be able to learn anything. If you are connected from your cell phone, drop out right now and do something better with your time, because you're not going to learn anything. And you're waste of time, for me and for yourself. Okay. And now, all right. Thank you so much. That's great, Nasser. Thank you so much for sharing that. Wait, if you're on cell phone, you're wasting your time, and you're absolutely wasting my time. How the hell you think that you can come here connected to a cell phone and learn Linux? What are you thinking? Okay. Um, Another thing I want to share with you guys, I got a call. I was taking some of the Linux calls. I wanted to see what kind of questions people have. You know, it's always about winning mindset, that always win in their life. I got an interesting call the other day on Friday. Somebody called me and said, "Hey, are you Asad Bhai?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am Asad Bhai." I'm like, "Okay, great. Always wanted to speak to you." I said, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "I signed up for your class and it's very interesting and I am understanding things and this is interesting and nobody ever gave me a chance in my life, and I want to take my life somewhere. I want to do something." And I always say, if you're not making 100K, you're living below the poverty line. That's what the reality is. If you're in the United States, you are not making 100K, you're living below the poverty line. Somebody has to tell you this. And then he goes, "I've never had a chance, and this is my chance to learn, and I want to be part of the IT industry. I want to get a job." I said, "Sure, sure, sure." And so, go ahead, and what's your question? "I wanted to ask you." I said, "Yeah, what's up? Can I do it? You think I can do this?" But if you're going to ask me if you can do this or not, then you cannot do this. If you're going to ask somebody else, if you're going to seek approval of somebody else whether you can do this course or not, you're not going to do it. Enough with your herd mentality that, oh, if others can do it, I can do it. Be an individual. Own yourself. You take control of your life. And then, ask yourself whether you can do this or not. Don't ask your mother. Don't ask your father. Don't ask a stupid Asad Bhai. He doesn't know anything about you. And once you decide something that I want to do this, I want to get $100,000 job, then you just do it. You don't seek approvals of other, because, and I told him, I said, "I'm sorry, brother, I don't think you can do it." He's like, "What made you say this right away? You don't even know me." I said, "Well, exactly is my point. I don't know you, but I know a lot about you. You seek approval of others. You're that herd mentality guy. If others are doing it, I'm going to do it too. If they can do, this is the sickness with the Pakistani mentality. I'm sorry to tell you. Stop being sick. Take control of your life." All right. So now let's continue over here. Now, some of you guys are coming over here, creating a lot of noise. "Oh, send me this link, send me this link, send me this link." Earlier, what are you doing with your life? Okay, let me go ahead and share my PowerPoint with you guys that I worked on over the weekend. I want to talk about, before I start talking on the terminal, I want to go over. You guys can see my screen? No, not yet. Okay, here. I want to talk about Linux over here for some time, and then we'll jump right into the CLI. So why are we learning Linux, ladies and gentlemen? Because first of all, why we are learning Linux? Honestly speaking, it gives you a secure future. There are a lot of other people, they are scared to get into this black screen. They run away when they see this. This is your time to shine and rise. This is your time to learn something that scares other people, so you can make your living out of this. That's the only reason I picked Linux, honestly speaking. It was challenging for the other people to learn and pick up. So I decided I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do something which not everybody can do, okay? All right, great. So now, but Linux, by the way, all of these mission critical servers out there that are running critical applications that are supposed to be running 24/7, they're all running on top of the Linux operating system. You remember, folks, I told you guys that everything in the IT industry is basically all about applications, and applications bring money for organizations, right? Application like Instagram, Insta, Meta, Google, now AI. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all different applications. They all serve different purposes, right? You guys use them in your daily life, so you know these are applications. At the very bottom layer, they're all running on top of a Linux operating system. This is the base of every application now. I'm not saying 100% all the applications. There are some applications that are running on Unix, which is Unix. which is basically a dying dinosaurs. Nobody wants to use these servers anymore, so they're transitioning into Linux, which is more modern operating system. And so all of these applications are running on Linux. That's why Linux is very, very important for us to learn, because we are going to be working in the infrastructure domain. Infra domain, we are going to be working in the platform engineering domain. Platform, and this is the base of every company, right? So we are going to learn a skill which basically gets you jobs. And this is just one of the skills that we're going to start off with. We're going to continue to develop more skills. Now, so that's why we're learning Linux. And of course, it's doing good stuff over there. Why learn Linux? Widely used for servers. I mainly talk about servers. I don't talk about the desktops. I don't talk about the laptops over here. I mainly talk about all the servers that brings money, into the organizations. Okay, so that's the topic that I am interested in. Linux, I slightly talked about, is an open source and is highly customizable operating system. Okay, and it has a lot of tools for the new people who want to learn it, and it has tools for the experts, for the developers, for the cybersecurity specialists. And developers rule the industry. Whatever we do in the IT industry, at the end of the day, it's the application that brings the money home, right? And it gets the most respect. So we are the back end guys who are providing the stage for the developers and the applications, okay? And it is highly flexible. It is stable. That means, what is the server? When I say a server is a stable, when I say operating system is a stable operating system, it basically means it can run for days, months, years, and years without having to shut down. Okay, it is scalable as well, and it's a secure platform, highly secure platform to run your applications. Why do companies need servers? Because they need to develop applications. They need to run their applications. When you go to that Instagram and TikTok, and when you start scrolling, at the end of the day, there is a server, which is probably, most likely, 99.98% is running on top of Linux operating system. So therefore, it offers you excellent career opportunities in information technology. You can become a Linux admin, Linux engineer, cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, cybersecurity engineers, if you know Linux. Right? So again, what is the definition of open source? Understand one thing, that every application that is built today, any application, whether it's an Instagram or TikTok, again, these are applications, okay? These have some sort of coding at the back end. The back end coding, which is called the source code, makes this application available to you, source code. The code for the operating system Windows and Mac, they also have something called source code, a code that makes that operating system, right? Code that makes that operating system is called source code. Basically, that's the source code that basically made this Windows or Mac operating system. And Linux also has source code. Of course, every application, every operating system has a source code. Understand that. Okay, what is the difference between Windows and Linux? One word. This source code that makes the operating system is closed source. It is closed source. It's closed. What does that mean? That means anybody, a developer that does not work for Windows and Mac company, Apple and Microsoft, they do not have access to read this code. Cannot read this code. Now, Linux allows anybody, any person, to be able to read this code. So this is closed source code. This is open source code. Open source code. Open source. Open source. Open source means the ability to read the code that makes the operating system, as well as modify it. So if you can modify something, then you can customize it. You can change certain parts of the operating system. That's the biggest major difference. Another difference is the way Linux is designed. It is stable. It doesn't break down. If you open multiple windows in Linux and you have multiple processes running, like you're using, for the simplicity's sake, you're using Firefox, Chrome, TikTok, Instagram, the more applications you open up, Linux will handle the memory and CPU intelligently. Remember I talked about the CPU, hard drive, and the RAM? It's the resources of your server. Linux has the ability, the code that makes the Linux operating system is written intelligently to handle the application, multitasking, multi-threaded application intelligently. So it doesn't slow down your server. It doesn't break down your server. How many of you run into this issue that you're working on your Windows operating system, which is known in Windows, and you open 4 or 5 windows and you're working between these applications, right? You go between these applications, right? Sometimes you open up the Microsoft Word, sometimes you open up the Google Chrome, sometimes you open up the Firefox, sometimes you open up your TikTok application. That's called multi applications, running processes in parallel, and it's called multi-threaded application. So a lot of applications are running at the same time, right? So now sometimes you see that when you are going between applications, opening and closing and minimizing, your machine gets hung completely, and you don't know what to do. You're pressing the keyboard, and this can happen on the server side as well. And Microsoft Windows is known to have these type of problems. Okay, security is another thing. You know why Windows has these type of problems and Linux is more stable and more secure? Here, simply, this is what I'm going to do right over here. I am going to say that a test case for us, right? We are going to create a new operating system. We're going to create 2 operating systems. Number 1, we're going to call this a, give me an operating system name that you want to create quickly. When does the meeting conclude? Just wondering because I have an appointment. The meeting concludes 3 p.m. Okay. Give me one. Yeah. All right. So we're going to say LinoopOS. LinoopOS is one operating system. Give me another one. And the other one is a Chocolate OS. ChalkOS. Okay. Good one. The ChalkOS, Linoop. I'm a smart guy. I'm a CEO of Linoop, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to hire the best of the best people out there. And I'm going to bring them and I'm going to make them part of my team. And I bring in Nasser, and I bring in Shahid, and I bring in, Amir. Which one of this is Nasser, by the way? I wish there is a way I can make a beard over here. And yeah, which one is the Nasser and which one is a Shahid over here? You guys don't know this right now, okay? All the way to the left is a Nasser, the bald-headed guy, always smiling, looking to have a chocolate and a faluda. This is Nasser, by the way. And by the way, I did not draw this tummy purposely. It just happened. But, the picture says it all, okay? But, the guy with the long beard is Shahid. And Amr is a nice, good-looking, young, handsome guy stuck between us, okay? So anyway, this is my team over here that's going to build a LinoopOS, okay? I've got the best of the best out there. I pay them millions of dollars, and, guess what? They're going to work on the operating system for me. On the other side, you guys, which is the ChalkOS team, you are smart people, okay? You're just starting off. You don't have any money. You came up with this idea that somehow you're going to motivate everybody on the internet using a TikTok and Instagram and say, we are going to create an operating system which is going to change the humanity forever, and everybody can download this for freely, and everybody can use it, and nobody has to ever pay a penny for this. Therefore, we're inviting all the smart people on this earth to join this great noble cause, and please be part of our team. And now, as a result, you have attracted all of these smart people around the world, these geeks, and they care about people and they care about humanity. And this is just 5 people. You have, God knows, 500,000 people team. Which one is going to come up with the best operating system? I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me, which one is going to come up with the best operating system? The ChalkOS or LinoopOS? Well, I have Nasser over here. He's handsome. He's bubbly. I have Shahid. He's got, amazing, tons of experience in hardware. Which operating system is going to win? You're motivated, the best of the best out there, to come and work for you for free because they are highly motivated to make something for humanity. And then on the other side, I am motivating Nasser and Shahid with the money and Amr. Hey, and I go out there and I bring more developers and I pay them money and I give them nice cars. Which one you think is highly motivated? These individuals or LinoopOS team? Of course, the CentOS team, because they care about humanity, they want to give back to the society, and they care about giving something for free. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this and now they have a mission. They have a mission that they want to make this operating system free. They want to make it secure. They want to make it the best out there. So, 500,000 people versus the top-notch 50,000 people on the planet. Who wins the race? Ladies and gentlemen, CentOS. Any day. CentOS. Because they have motivated the geeky people that really want to make a difference. These people, they're all money hungry. They can only do so much. Hey, Nasser Bhai and Shah Bhai, excuse me for doing this, but they can only do so much. So therefore, now there is a whole community which is basically always monitoring the health of the operating system. They care about the code. This is their baby. Every time something they find a bug in it, a problem, they will quickly want to jump onto it to fix it. Whereas these people, they're always negotiating their salaries, coming back to me saying, hey, you know what? You're the one who's making a lot of money. You got to give us more money, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this is the mentality, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you have the open source operating system, which is the best of the best. Okay, let's continue over here. I hope this makes sense to you guys. So now some of these, the guy Linus Torvalds set a new trend in this era. He gave this idea that software should be open source, software should be secure, software should be readily available for all the humans to download and play with it. They don't have to pay price for that. So some of those projects actually that change the IT industry, Linux, number one. Firefox is also open source. You don't pay anything for that. Database, PostgreSQL is also open source. Docker, another. We're going to learn Docker in this class, by the way. Kubernetes, we're also going to learn in this class, ladies and gentlemen. TensorFlow, I think this is part of some AWS. Git, version control. LibreOffice, ladies and gentlemen, which is equivalent to your Microsoft Windows, Microsoft Office suite. LibreOffice, if you're running Linux, you get free Office. By the way, right now you're paying for the Office. I don't know how much you guys pay, but I pay like $15 per month. Okay, so and then we're going to continue to talk about ease of use. Linux is not the easiest operating system to use because it has the command line interface. You type in the command, it does something for you. Windows is absolutely easy to use. Mac is easy to use. Unix, I would say it is not easy to use. This is a mistake over here. Unix and Linux are alike operating systems. They're all multitasking. So anyway, you can read about this slide. I don't want to take your time on these things. I will give you these slides. And what's really interesting, I bring your attention to AI, cloud, and cybersecurity. They are now basically the darling, what I call the darling of the IT industry. They are becoming the backbone of the IT industry. And so most of, like I said, AI, cloud, and cybersecurity, they all run on top of the Linux operating system. So now if you look at this, by 2030, all infrastructure is projected to require up to $6 trillion in the global investment. Companies like AI, cybersecurity companies, they're looking to spend around $6 trillion to build their data centers to basically meet the requirement of the consumer. You guys all want to be on the AI. The more people sign up for the AI, they need more data centers, more computing power. Every time you go onto AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, it's putting a burden on that, and it's thousands of servers running that platform. They need to expand that. Right now, it's slow. I don't know about you guys, but I pay $200 per month for the ChatGPT. It is still slow, because they're missing. They need more computing power, and computing power is basically more data centers, more servers. And as the number of servers explode, the number of professionals who understand Linux, who understand cloud, who understand DevOps is going to explode. So you're not in it to learn a 6-month course. You're in it to build your career. And if you don't have that mindset, then do something else with your life. I always tell my students, don't come to this class thinking 6 months and this is going to change your life. This is a career. This is a long-term journey for you. One skill, another skill, another skill. The more skills you learn, the bigger portfolio you have, the more marketable you are, the more money companies will pay for you. And every 5 to 10 years, there's a shift in the industry. Now we have AI. Before it was cloud. Before it was the internet boom. So yeah, the industry will give you the opportunities to learn new skills. I tell you right now, there are 11 positions open up with JP Morgan Chase. They're looking for Kubernetes specialists. They cannot find it. They've been begging me, and I don't have the experts. Anybody that knows that stuff is already making good amount of money. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring your attention that learning Linux for you is a life-changing experience because it has so much market value up there. Not just alone Linux, other tools too. Linux is the base, okay? And so Linux is empowering every server, and we're going to learn about the containers and clusters, okay? So the age of Linux has arrived, silently powering the AI revolution. Linux isn't coming, it's already everywhere. That is true. It's already everywhere. It's not a surprise. If you know Linux, you're very well respected in the IT industry. So again, it's a reliable, it's a secure central operating system, huge ecosystem with thousands of free and open source applications. Because it is open source, now there's a trend. Every company wants to make applications open source. How do they make money, by the way? You never asked me this question. I feel like you guys are not even paying attention to me. I feel like, all right, so let's continue over here. By the way, am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Please help me over here. Because there's a lot of you, and you all are different, diverse backgrounds. I don't know whether I'm doing okay, whether I am fast, I'm slow. But you guys, when you guys don't chat with me, that's the time I get demotivated. Okay, I feel like you guys are ignoring me. I am this attention seeker. I have this problem from my childhood. Okay, so Linux based operating system. So understand one thing now that we understand that Linux is open source, right? Because this is open source, and the philosophy of open source is this, that you develop something and then you make it available for free to everybody. Make it free. Please do not stay on the microphone. Make it free. You're going to say something stupid, then you're going to regret later on. Okay. Make it free, available, make it free to everybody. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, when Linus, the gentleman who developed the first Linux operating system or kernel, when Linus, his name is Linus, not Linux, he just used the Unix X to call it Linux operating system. That was a fun thing he did, I believe, from Linus to Linux. And he made this operating system available to every human being out there. So now opportunists came, opportunists like, Red Hat, Oracle, Debian, and Ubuntu. They took this free operating system and they created their own operating system, slight changes here and there, maybe slight different changes in commands, and they branded it under their own umbrella. You can do that if you're smart enough to do this. And then some of these companies were the industry leaders. They were the early birds. So they started selling their own operating systems, such as the Red Hat, Oracle, and Ubuntu is completely free. And so they're highly successful. And these are some of those companies over here. That's why we see different flavors in Linux. That's why we see different flavors of Linux. We have Ubuntu, which is basically desktop and a server level, which is completely free, by the way. There's only community support. There's not a company that's running this. This is a community operating system. There's only community support. So if you are an enterprise, if you're a company that wants to run an operating system means you have thousands of devices, servers, where you choose that you want to run Linux as the operating system for the server. You would want to make sure that there is some sort of support, a person, a company that you can call if you run into any issues. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, Red Hat and Oracle and SUSE, they are the top notch. In the US, there's a big demand for the Red Hat. And Oracle is also catching up now. In Europe, SUSE is the top notch. Okay. And so these are some of the enterprises, companies. By the way, Red Hat is owned by IBM now. IBM bought Red Hat for billions of dollars. Oracle itself is a different company that's also have their cloud as well, which is getting very popular now. By the way, if you learn Red Hat and if you learn Oracle, you will see they're 100% ditto copy of each other. Slight changes only. The logo is changed, and that's it. So if you learn Red Hat or if you learn Oracle Linux, you can claim that you know both of these operating systems. As a matter of fact, Ubuntu is a slightly different. Debian is slightly different. Fedora is pretty similar to Red Hat because it's Red Hat's product. It's exactly same. So we are going to learn Red Hat in this class because this is what sells in the market. When I say market, it means a lot of the companies like banks, government institutions, medium-sized companies, Fortune 100, 500 companies, they pretty much all run Red Hat Enterprise. And now some of the companies are also running the Oracle Linux as well because it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to run Oracle because their support is a lot cheaper. I have a student, they were deciding between the Red Hat versus the Oracle. It turns out the difference was 1.5 million versus $500,000. So he decided to go with the Oracle Enterprise. And this kid is going to come. He's very smart. He's going to teach you guys how he transitioned from Red Hat to Oracle Linux. And this is what we teach you in this 6-month course. We teach you enterprise level problems and problem solving in this course. And that's how you become so marketable. You talk like a professional. You smell like a professional. You walk like a professional. And that's what the industry is looking for. Industry will not entertain somebody who's coming fresh out of college, even though they have a 4 years college degree, because they cannot solve the complex problems the industry has. They can only offer theoretical knowledge to the companies. Company is looking for skilled workers, somebody who can come in day first, hit the ground running, and solve problems for the organization. And we're going to use these words. We are here to solve problems. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we continue learning, as you can see, this slide has the chart. 47% is the market leader, Red Hat Enterprise. Okay, these statistics are given to me by deep search on ChatGPT. Okay, so you can verify these numbers by yourself. Question over here: with the open source software, is there any copyright laws? Like, or can Oracle just take Red Hat feature, or is there some regulations? I'm sure there are some regulations. I'm sure that there are some guidelines that you cannot take something and just 100% have a ditto copy. I'm sure they made some minor changes, such as changing the name from Red Hat to Oracle, changing the logo from Red Hat to Oracle, stuff like that. Okay, and maybe in depth, they probably have some slight changes as well. But for us, for me and you, as a system administrator, system engineer, looks exactly the same, smells exactly the same, cooks exactly the same. Okay, let's go to understand the two core parts. Now we understand why we are learning Linux, right? So we need to understand the architecture of Linux. What are the two main components, two parts of the Linux? Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you have a server, you choose to decide, whenever you choose to install an operating system, in this case, it's Linux. Linux will come with two parts. One is the kernel, and the other one is the shell. You, right over here, as a regular user, you will always interact with the shell. That black screen that you see is a shell. That's how you interact with Linux operating system. You type your commands. You will type your commands in the shell, and then shell will send your command to the kernel. Kernel is under the hood. Think of this like you sit in your car, your steering, your gear is a shell. You sit in your car, you use your steering, you use your gear to send commands to the engine, to the transmission, to the brake system, to the tires. You don't exactly go to the tire and hold it and say, hey, stop. No, you press your brake just like that. You type your commands in the shell, Shell will go to the kernel. Kernel is all under the hood. Okay. You will not see the kernel operations. Kernel's job is to manage hardware resources. At the end of the day, this is where all the fun takes place on your server. And server, I keep talking about these components, CPU, RAM, they make your Linux operating system run smoothly. If you got a problem with one of these guys, your Linux system is going to be unstable, it's going to be faulty, it's going to shut down, it's not going to function. So now, this is, by the way, an interview question. This is going to be on your test that I'm going to take after 4 weeks. Okay, so I will ask you on your test, what are the two main parts of Linux? The answer is user and kernel. No, the answer is shell and kernel. Don't give me this hardware. Don't give me this user. Understand? This is a separate entity. This is you and me and a user, which is using the operating system. The shell is when you are over here typing your commands. The shell is when you log into this window over here. When I type my command uptime, I'm typing into the shell. The shell will go to the kernel and look at all of this information, extract this information, and say, okay, there are 105 users logged in. And by the way, these are all the winner users, by the way. 105 people, even though there are more than 200 people sitting over here, only 105 students are logged in. These are all the winners. They are most likely going to stick to the program because they're taking everything seriously. And they're not visitor students who come in here to see, oh my God, what is he talking about? Who's this stupid, ugly looking guy with the glasses? What is he talking about? He talks too much. Oh my God. They haven't achieved anything in their life. And inshallah, they will continue to not achieve anything in their life because they're busy on TikTok, Instagram. They're busy making money for other people. They never looked into themselves. They're empty from the inside. They need external sources to make them happy, to make them fulfilled, unfortunately. And that's where the dopamine factories like Instagram and TikTok are there to make them happy, to make them pampered. And they like to show to the world how they are enjoying on the beach and living a fake life. They're empty from the inside, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so when you type your command, you type on the shell then take your command and gives it to the kernel. Kernel, at the end of the day, manages hardware resources. What are hardware resources? CPU, RAM, hard disk. Okay, and I talked about all of these things in my first lecture. What do these components do? And if you're missing that, you can go to the link on my YouTube channel and watch that. It's not going to give you that dopamine fact, the spike in the dopamine that you're looking for, but it's going to give you some knowledge, and knowledge will one day get you a 100K salary. That's the okay. Okay, let me see now how many more users are logged in right now. Oh, wow. We gained 20 more winners, by the way, or 17. Wow, I was able to motivate 17 more people to change their life. You see how great I am? All right, great job. Congratulations, 17 members. Please come on. Let's help you over here. All right, so now let's go ahead and type in here. Aww, one more guy. All right, how can I register, please? What do you mean by register? By the way, I'm getting a lot of calls and emails from you guys. I want to be part of your paid program. Masad bhai, please don't drop me. Please take me in. You're already part of the paid program. Already, this is paid program already started. Okay, what I want to make sure at the end of the 4th week that you're actually learning something. You're actually capable. You're not a herd mentality animal. You're not gonna ask your friend, hey, should I do it? Should I not do it? What do you think? Once I know that you're a complete person and you have self-belief and you believe in hard working and you believe in your creator, that hard work will get you somewhere and you don't stress about things, you're part of the paid program. And I've already reduced the cost of the program, which I will talk about at the last day. This class is to teach you skills, not to market my paid program. I'm only answering this because a lot of you guys are sending me emails and calling me. The fact that you're in this class, consider yourself part of the paid program. The first 4 weeks are free. Fundamental knowledge is given to everybody. But in July, what's the date? July what? Whatever is July? Shahid Bhai has to remind me. The last Wednesday in July, the 4th week, I'm going to make sure I give you 40 hours for free. So this way, you have enough experience with this class. If you're able to tolerate me and my BS talk and the way I teach you, and it doesn't irritate you, and you find it amusing, and you don't find it insulting, then we can have a relationship as a student teacher. You can move forward. But everybody's entitled to these 40 hours free classes. So please stick to this program. I don't care what you do after 40 hours. I want you to learn the fundamentals of AI. I want you to learn the fundamentals of cloud. I want you to learn fundamentals of cybersecurity. Wherever you take this knowledge, you're going to be a winner. Nobody teaches you these things in college and universities, by the way. Now, what's the command after entering the password? The first command you type is the uptime. Look at this. We have 134 people now. Great job. Okay, we're making progress. Once again, a shout out for those people who are having problem logging in because not everybody was here on last Wednesday. You missed out. I'm going to show you one more time. I promise. I'm sorry, 134 people who are logged in. I'm going to show them one more time. Then we will continue. How about this? It's 1:15. We have a 10 minutes break over here. The 134 people who are logged in successfully, I want you to go away, use the bathroom, get a fresh air, go talk to your mom, dad, your loved ones, anybody, whoever you want to talk to. Take a look at your TikTok and Instagram because you need that. You probably the anxiety is kicking in. It's been a long time. I'm sure you have your phone right next to you because if you're kind of sick, you need that, you know what I mean, right? So go get your dose and come back after 10 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to help these people who have who are having a problem with logging into the server. Now, let me clear my screen. I'm giving you another command over here. Clear my screen. All this clutter that I'm seeing, I can always type the clear command. And now I am back on my shell without any clutter on my screen. First command I gave you is uptime. Now I have 143 users. I don't know what I'm going to do with the remaining 60 people who are just sitting over here. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they're not logged in. Even though I offered help, they're still not able to log in. Okay, no problem. Second command I'm going to give you is the ID command. ID command, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm logged in as Asma S. You see this? Right over here. This is my username. So every time you need to log into a Linux server, also true for Windows and Unix and Mac, you need to have a username and a password, right? Username. And you also need a password. Okay, this is a well-known username. Your peers can also know your username. Everybody can know your username. Password, you never share your password with anybody. Even the support guys ask you for your password. You're never supposed to give them your password. Number one. Number two, when you go to the organization, when it's your first day and you're hired, you're working over there, somebody will give you your username and password. They might give it to you. They might speak it out loud to you. It's okay to write down your username. Password, it's okay to write down your default password, the one that they give you. But then once you change your default password, you will never write down on the piece of paper and save it somewhere. You cannot do that. You can get fired for this. You just have to memorize that. You have to store it in your brain. And if you want to be a little sneaky, maybe save it in your phone somewhere when nobody's looking at you. But the minute you walk into the organization, there are cameras everywhere. They're monitoring you. I have seen people get fired because they actually wrote down their username and password on a piece of paper, the notebook that they give you. They wrote it down over there. Security threat. Somebody can get access to that. They can log in with your account. You don't want to do that. So first thing we figured out is we have a username and password. And what's the command to check what username you're logged in as? You can type the command ID. ID will show you. Another command here is who am I? Who am I will give me my username. I want to explain you what is the difference between these two commands. Check it out over here. The difference between these two commands over here. Let's take a look at this, explore this. When I run the ID command, ladies and gentlemen, I get two things. I get user ID. I get group ID. This is my username. Username is usually a word, a name, Asma S. I'm sorry, I'm using Asma's name. I don't want to put her on the spot over here. Let me go back to my account over here. I'm going to log into my account. I don't want to use her account. She might be mad at me for this. Asad B is my username. Password is ABC123. Now I'm logged in as Asad B. I need to log out from Asma's account. I use the exit command. So how many commands I gave you so far? I gave you uptime, I gave you clear, I gave you exit, I gave you ID. Now I am on Asad B, and let's take a look at this one more time. Who am I? Okay, very good. And okay. Now, let me go ahead and take a snippet of this. This is how I take a screenshot or area that I want to grab. This is very important for you. Everybody has this in their Windows snipping tool. Very, very useful for us at work because sometimes you need to strip information from your email. All right, let's take a look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, the ID, this is the terminal $, means you are using a shell. You are on the shell. Shell is equal to terminal. By the way, the $, it represents bash shell. There are different type of shells in Linux. For now, we're just focused on the bash shell. You're most likely going to work with the bash shell. The $, ladies and gentlemen, means you are a regular user. Okay, regular user means you do not have admin powers. You are just a regular user logged into this system. So $, means you are on a bash shell as a regular user. The ID command, ladies and gentlemen, reveals your username. The ID command tells you what your username is, what name you're logged in as. This is going to be very helpful for you down the road. And also it gives you ID number. The ID number, your system knows you by this ID number. You always remember your username. So you see the difference between ID and name. ID is number. Name is a alphanumeric value, Asad, Mike, whatever that is. And so do you need to remember this one to log in? No, absolutely no. You only need to remember this one along with the password. And remember, you never write down your password on a piece of paper. So start practicing these things. And remember, the $, means you are on a bash shell. And remember, shell is the only way to communicate with your Linux, Unix servers. Okay. Now the second command gives you just the username. Okay. Second command will give you just the username. So now go ahead and count all the commands that we know. We know uptime. Let's run the uptime one more time over here. Uptime. And let's take a look at the uptime, ladies and gentlemen, over here. I want to show you interesting thing about the uptime. And by the way, uptime is a very, very popular command. And your interviewer most likely 99.9% will ask you this command. This command is going to be on your test, the entry test. The uptime command is going to be there. So let's take a look at the uptime command. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the uptime command. When I type uptime on my shell, it reveals this. First of all, it gives me the time of my system right now. The time is 1:39:12 seconds. And how many days the server has been up and running, ladies and gentlemen. This is where it reveals how many days the server has been up and running. This server has been running for last 12 days without shutting down. When I was talking about in my previous lecture, I told you that I came across a server which was running for the last 3 years. And I accidentally shut it down. And I will tell you what happened to me once I shut down this server accidentally. By the way, when you shut down the server accidentally, and then I will show you the command to shut down server, you can get fired for that. Okay. And now this another important thing over here. How many people are using your server right now? Using server. Please continue to ask your questions to the panelists. They're doing an amazing job. Okay. When you are at work, very good question asked by Yusuf. When you go to work, you will always log in as a regular user, and then you will become another account called root. Root user in Linux is the most powerful. It has the admin privileges. Privileges is the word. That means it has all the powers. It can delete users, it can shut down the system, it can remove any directory, it can stop services. Everything that you're going to learn in Linux, as a regular user, there are some commands that you can use and some elevated privileges command. Some commands require elevated privileges. It require admin privileges. It require root privileges. So root, I don't know if you have ever come across this word root. This means the most powerful user in Linux and in Windows. Linux and Windows. In what the hell I'm saying? In Linux and Unix. Windows, the most powerful user is administrator. Administrator. Okay. So in Linux, you have root. In Windows, you have administrator. Okay. So what is the system time? Time as of right now. How many days the server has been up and running? How many users are logged in? This is all I need to know for now. This information, we will talk about this later. This information, we will talk about this later. The somebody saying a root means inside core reach. Now, root basically is a powerful user. It has all the privileges. It is a super user. It is also called super user. It has elevated privileges. It has all the privileges. Privileges such as shut down the machine, knock out a user, lock them out, remove somebody's file, remove somebody's folder, stop certain services, stop traffic from certain machines, read system logs. So anything that administrator, the admin of this server needs to do is done by the root user. So usually when you become a Linux admin or Linux engineer in the organization, they give you your own username. For example, for me, my username was ASADA. My first name, which is Asad, my last name, which is Akhtar, they added an initial over there. So this was my username. Okay. I always logged in the morning as Asad A into the system. And whenever I needed the root power, whenever I needed to become root, I would use another command called su to become super user. Now, you need to have the password of root in order to become super user. And let me show you how I become super user. I am logged in as a regular user. Who am I? It will reveal I am Asad B. If I say right now, shut down, what does it say here? Failed, failed, failed. Pay attention over here. Permission denied. I cannot shut down the server. Shut down means, hey, stop everything and bring the server down completely, like power it off. I cannot do that because I don't have that privileges. Now, if I want to shut down, I will need to change to another account, which is the root account. And how do I become root? This is where the flexibility in Linux is. You simply type su command. And now I need to know the root password. And now I'm root. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay attention to these two things. This, and pay attention. My prompt over here is $. And in this, I have my prompt is changed to £. This means I am root. Root means I am super user. That means now I have all the privileges. If I want to kick out one of you guys, I can just use my powers to kick out one of you guys. And I just gave you another command over here. I am just giving you another command over here, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this. Let me do this. Give me 1 second over here. Okay. I just gave you another command called W. W will show you every person who is logged into this machine. Take a look at this. I have Zarva. I have Ehsan. I have Tahmina, I have Mark, I have Ibrahim, I have Talha, I have Akas, I have Mariam. So collectively, there are 147 people, and I can see what time they logged in, and I can sort of see, how they're logged in. Okay. So the command is W. Type the W command, and you will see list of all the people logged in. I am logged in as a root right now. I'm a super user. I want to go back to my account. I will type exit. Do not type this for you. Do not type this. It's going to remove you completely from the system. Now I am back to Asad. Take a look at this. From root, I exited out, and now I am back to regular user Asad. I type the W command again. I see all the users once again. So now, work with me over here. Give me all the commands that I gave you, literally. Give me all the commands I gave you. I gave you 1, uptime. Number 2, I gave you ID command so far. Number 3, I gave you who am I? By the way, it's all one word. There's no spaces between. You cannot have spaces in Linux command. Number 4, I gave you W command. Number 5, I gave you SU command. SU is to become a super user. Okay. Number 6, what did I give you? Number 6, I gave you clear command. You want to clear everything that's on your screen. You type the clear command. Take a look at this. I want all of this to go away. I type clear command over here. It will give me. And look, I am back over here. Number 4, I want to exit from my account. Number 7, I want to exit from my account. I type the exit command. If you type exit, you will be kicked out of the system. Okay? And by the way, I also told you if you want to shut down the system, the command is shut down. But this, can a regular user shut down your Linux machine? Requires root privileges. Okay? Root privileges. Yes, it requires root privileges. Regular user cannot shut down. Type the command shut down. You cannot do anything. Okay, let's continue learning. Now, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, if you're liking what you're learning, give me a beauty fly, BF. If you hate what you're learning, give me an ugly fly, UF. Quickly. I want to see how many of you are enjoying learning what I'm teaching you over here. See, nobody's going to give you this opportunity to have a hands-on experience working with the Linux before you sign up for the paid program. Only Linoop has, you know what I mean, to do this, right? Because we believe in ourselves. We believe in doing the right thing. We believe in guiding our students, mentoring them, giving them a solid career path to a 100K salary, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now let's continue over here. I got a lot of chummies over here too, by the way. Those of you who know what it means. But a lot of BFs over here, but I don't see any ugly fly over here. So if I don't have ugly fly over here, who are these people? Let's see how many people are logged in right now. 149 people, while I have over here 200 people logged in to this Zoom, maybe more than 200 sometimes. Okay. So now tell me one thing. Who are these people? The delta of 50 plus. Why they're not giving me ugly fly? Because they're not interested. They're just here to see what we are selling them. They're skeptical. There's a mindset that always says, free? There's nothing free in life. God knows what he's trying to sell you guys. I'm gonna find out what this guy's all about. Ain't nothing free in this life. That's what these 50 people are sitting over here trying to figure out what is free in life. Okay. Yeah, I wish they know too. Okay. Let's get back over here. We have important things to do. W command to see. All right, everybody over here, all of these, my students, God bless you. You are winners. You're going to take things into your own hands. You're going to build your career. You're going to have a solid base understanding of Linux, And on top, we're going to give you DevOps skills, and you're going to earn a 100K salary, more than that. Inshallah, the target is 120 or 130, but 100 is the minimum. Inshallah, you should be able to walk away from this class. I don't take everything I tell you. Take my words, go to ChatGPT, Gemini. They're not built by my father. They're independent. Ask them questions. Is this guy right? What the hell he's talking about? My teacher said this. A stupid guy said this, that there are jobs in DevOps, there are jobs in Linux, there are jobs in cloud, there are jobs in cybersecurity. Is AI going to take over these jobs? When is this going to happen? Is it worth learning Linux? So do this, all of this, okay? Now, there you go. So now let's continue over here. If I say, how did I get into this? Okay, ID, Sammy Hemi. You see, if you want to know your account exists on the system, which it does, or you want to know another account exists on the system, you type ID and the username that you want to check. It will tell you whether that user exists or not. Okay. So, can you check mine? I don't know what your username is. So first of all, let's do this, folks. Everybody give me your username by this command. Everybody give me a username by running this command. Give me your username by running this command, okay? Okay, Omar J. ID Omar J. Very good. ID, oh my God, you guys got a complicated name. Hamza. So what does that mean? This means there is an account on this server that exists. Now, if I say ID Tyson, can Tyson user log into this server? Can Tyson user log into this server by the result, this over here, what you see? No, Tyson cannot log into the server. He doesn't have an account. Okay, fair enough. Now I'm going to talk about some system related commands. Okay, and then we're going to jump into file system. System related commands. System commands. First of all, I want to know my host name, which is also my server name, which is basically the name of the server you're running. So what's the command for this, ladies and gentlemen? Those of you who were here Wednesday, my winner friends from Wednesday, help me out over here. Aha. The command is hostname CTL. Hostname CTL. A hostname alone will work. By the way, hostname alone will work. Great job. Hostname will work. But hostname CTL is a whole different thing. It tells me a lot of things about my server. What is this telling me about my server? Take a look at this over here. Now, this is the command I'm running. This is my server name right over here is my server name. What is this telling you? It's telling you that this is a server. This is a server. This is a server. What is a server? This chases. This basically means this is a bare metal server. Bare metal server, like physical box. This is not a cloud server. This is not a virtual server. This is a physical server. Machine ID, I don't care about this. Boot ID, I don't care about this. Operating system, ladies and gentlemen, I love to see this over here. Now, you are on an interview. The interviewer asks you, how do you know what type of operating system you're working with? Give me the command. What's the command? Hostname CTL. And the answer is Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 9.0. The interviewer asks you, how do you check your distribution number? What distribution you're working on? What version of Red Hat you're working on? What version of RHEL, R-H-E-L, Red Hat Enterprise Linux? How do you check the RHEL version? From now on, we're not going to say Red Hat. We're going to say RHEL, R-H-E-L. Say out loud with me, RHEL. I didn't hear that. Rel. No, I didn't hear that. Say with me out loud. Rel.
Rel.
Yes, there you go. One more time.
Rel.
Great job, Irfan. Go ahead. Somebody else want to take a shot at this on the microphone?
Rel.
Rel, great job.
Rel.
Rel, great job. Rel. So the question is, check for me the rel version number by using a command. What's the command? Hostname CTL. Come back over here. Hostname CTL. And beautiful stuff over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at this one more time. Beautiful stuff over here. Folks, look at the beauty. It's showing you that you are using a physical server. It's made by Dell. This is the this is the model number, PowerEdge model number. If I asked you on the test, find out the model number of the server you're using right now, make and model. The make is Dell, the model is PowerEdge R620. Just like Mercedes-Benz is the make, C300, E series, S class, those are the model numbers, right? And so the make is Dell, the model is PowerEdge R620. And so the version is right over here. What RHEL distribution you worked on? RHEL distro. Distribution. Version number. Sorry, Linux distribution. Linux distribution. The answer is RHEL. Version number. RHEL 9.0. 9.0. In addition to that, this is your kernel version. Remember I talked about kernel? I'm going to take a moment over here to ask you this question. What is a kernel? In one word, give me the answer. What is a kernel? What is a kernel job? Don't tell me this is the brain of the OS. Don't give me that BS. Just type, please type, please type. Well, you come on the mic when I ask you to come on the mic. Kernel manages hardware resources. Simple as it is. What is kernel's job? Manages hardware resources. You have no idea how many of my students failed to answer this question on the interview. Failed. Why? Because they didn't pay attention. Stupid TikTok is taking over your life. Now, let me tell you one thing. If you are taking this class and you're continuously looking at your phone, I'm sorry to tell you, the chances of you becoming successful in this class, 0%. I'm sorry. I know they didn't want me to say this, but I'm telling you, don't get yourself into this. Okay? What is shell job? What is a shell job? Shell is an interface between user and the kernel. Interface, the middleman between user and the kernel. A lot of my students get confused between the shell and the kernel, and it haunts them for life. How many of you are confused on this? So I can interface to control kernel. Okay, you can say that. You can say that to communicator between kernel and the user. Okay, you know what? You have to be bold in my class. You have to be bold. You have to speak out. Just like I sound bold. I'm not a bold person, honestly speaking. I just behind the camera. I'm a little bored, but you know, I'm not bored. But anyway, you have to be bold. You have to ask questions. You have to say, I don't understand. It's my problem if I cannot teach you something. This is not, you don't have a learning difficulty or learning disability if you're not understanding a concept when I teach you. It's my problem. It's on me. I'm not able to explain it to you. That's what the teacher's job is. So I'm going to explain you over here. Come back over here. Understand this. You go to a restaurant and you're sitting over there, right over here, and you give your order to this waiter over here. The waiter, in this case, you are the user. You are logged into the system. You're a user. The waiter is a shell. It takes your order. I need chicken biryani. I need a salad. I need hummus. I need steak. And then this waiter, the shell, goes to the chef who has ingredients, you know, who has the vegetables, the meat, the tomatoes, all the ingredients and the hardware to cook for you what you want. So this is all of these are called resources. All of these are called resources. Using the resources, the kernel being the chef cooks up the recipe and then waiter brings that food on the table for you. How many of you are still confused? Beauty fly or ugly fly? I would like to see some ugly flies. Beauty fly or ugly fly? So again, every time I log into my Linux server, I land on a shell. I land on a shell right over here. Let me do this over here. Every time I log into I'm a user over here, sitting at home, confused as hell, and I have my laptop over here, and all I see is this commands over here. This laptop is connecting me to a server in a remote location. And now this server somehow is giving me a black screen on my monitor. This is where we are at. Now, this confused young man or woman, a healthy one, is sitting and typing commands like uptime, like W, like ID. Where are these commands being typed? They are being typed into a shell. Now, the shell, ladies and gentlemen, goes to the kernel. Kernel is right over here. Kernel is a piece of software. Kernel is a piece of software. This is software. This is software. Program. 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 And this hardware has all the resources like CPU, RAM, hard disk. So now you enter your command in shell, yeah, and the shell goes to the kernel and says, hey, this fat kid, stay with me, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's all right. I didn't say anything wrong. All right, Manager Ikra is on a video right now. Let's see what she's doing. Great job. Okay, what did you do, Ikra? All right, now this user types in the shell and goes to the shell, hey shell, this guy wants you to check how many users are logged in when you type the command uptime. And the kernel says, oh my God, you always got me something to do. I'm going to go and I'm going to check on the CPU and I'm going to check in the RAM and I'm going to fetch information from the operating system from somewhere. Oh, okay, I see 149 people logged in. And then the kernel goes back to the shell and says 149. And then it also fetches the information from the clock. It says, by the way, the time is this. And then it also fetches the information and it gives you some load averages or anyway. You understand what this means. Let me take a question from Usman because he's confused. Usman, go ahead. Let me give you the microphone, Usman. Usman, oh, great job. I have two Usman. I don't know which one it is. Raise your hand, Usman. By the way, I have four Usman. All right, Usman Yunus has a question. Go ahead, Usman Yunus. Usman.
I don't have a question. Somebody else actually raised a hand. That was not me.
Okay, my apologies. Sorry. Usman, go ahead. You raise your question. You raise your hand. Usman, I give you mic. Usman, I cannot hear you. Usman, I can hear you. Speak up. Usman, say something, brother. Okay, no problem. We're going to come back to you, Usman. Usman, can you hear me? Usman, I can hear you if you speak a little bit louder. All right, I took the mic away. All right, so where is the kernel located? By the way, good question, man. I likes you. So here, this is my server, the bare metal. Remember, this is Dell what was that, R650 or R620? Uh-oh, I need to check that once again. What's the command for that? Oh, right here, R620, hostname CTL. Oh, PowerEdge. R620, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is my server. Okay, the server has a hard drive. The question that you asked me, where is the kernel and where is the shell? There's a hard drive in your server which stores files permanently. There is a CPU. The CPU job is to execute the instructions programs. There is a RAM. RAM usually is like chips. They bring the file into RAM, then RAM sends it to the CPU. Now, when you install Linux on a server, in this case, we have a RHEL. By the way, what version of RHEL we're using over here? 9.0. When we install RHEL, Linux, on this hard drive, by the way, it gave me thousands of tiny programs. Thousands of programs. And out of those thousands of programs, there's also a program called shell, bash shell. And there's another part which is called kernel. So where is the kernel and shell sitting on your server? They are sitting on the hard drive. But when the server is up and running, they are sitting on the RAM. They're sitting on the RAM. And then their programs get transferred into the CPU. And that's how they run. All the time, the CPU is running them, CPU is running them, CPU is running them, CPU is running them. If you don't understand the backend processes, it's perfectly fine. It takes time. All I want you to know is shell and kernel. Kernel, what does kernel do? Manages hardware resources. What does shell do? It's an interface between you and kernel. All right, let's continue learning. The ladies and gentlemen, the time is 2:15, 2:14 rather. I am going to ask you to take a 10 minutes break over here. And then there's a deeper memory. There's a short-term memory, long-term memory, and because of all of these hardware resources, I'm alive. I'm able to process everything by my kernel. So you see, my brain is managing the backend side. The shell is what makes me interact with you. In Linux, shell is the interaction point. You interact with the Linux through shell. Kernel is the brain which manages all the resources efficiently. It goes to every single part. I say, do this, do this, do this, do this. Now you do this, you do this. Now, okay. So senses are shell. Brain is kernel. Body is hardware. Yeah. Does that make sense? The stuff I just made up? All right, ladies and gentlemen, go take a break. Go walk, do something. I'm crazy. I will be here and I will not speak to you for next 10 minutes. Okay? Facility, or you will take the test from home, the exam from home. There's going to be a live person. You will need two cameras, one on your laptop, one on the side, looking at your keyboard. They're going to look at your whole room, make sure that there's nobody helping you. And if you move your fingers from your keyboard elsewhere, they're going to stop the exam. So this is proctored exam. Highly valuable, highly respected in the IT industry because it's a live exam. On other exams, you can cheat. I'm not going to lie to you. But the Red Hat exams, you cannot cheat. You have to know your stuff. They're not going to ask you multiple choice questions. They are going to give you problem. You will solve that problem. And I don't know if I have Instagram over here. Let me see over here. And let me see over here. Okay, I want you guys to go to this Instagram page and then check out our posts over here. And what you will find over here is, take a look at this. Oh, am I sharing my screen with you guys? Here, take a look at this. So go to instagram.com/LinoopTek. By the way, you should subscribe or whatever they call it, or follow us. Honestly speaking, I was never into social media, but I just realized the power of social media. All of you guys are over there. Take a look at this kid. He's 22 years old. He has Red Hat Certified System Administration. And take a look at this. This barcode, if you scan it, it will take you on the Red Hat website. And it will show you that this is a legit certification. And if you go through the certifications over here, go. Hundreds of certifications are uploaded. And mind you, not all of my students gave me their certificate because they didn't want to post on the social media. I was able to get like 80 or 90, something like that. But most of them did not give. Look, I'm going to continue. You will see certifications. These are all of my students. All of them have 120K plus jobs. All of them. And I told them the value for the certification. They came back, they took the preparation with us one more time, and they basically knocked down the exam. So when I say 100% success rate, this is right here for you. Look at this. Red Hat certified engineer. He just added this over here by himself. This is a legit certificate. I want you to scan this barcode and go to this. This gentleman who is a mentor at Linoob, he got a salary boost by taking this certification. Salary boost. Now he's becoming a VP in one of the prestigious bank just because he has a certification. And I kid you not, go to Reddit and find out how big deal it is to have a Red Hat certification. And then you will find out it's a goddamn big deal to have this certification, to have the certificate. Okay? All of these, pretty much all of these people, I pushed them to get the certification. And thank God they listened to me as a mentor. And Ikra, who's also a mentor. And a lot of these people are, by the way, mentor. So I gave them discounted price for the certification just to motivate them. Every single kid over here has an interesting story to tell you. I would like to bring them to listen to their stories one day so you guys can. And then your instructor over here, Nasser Ali, is sitting over here. Look at this when he completed his Red Hat certification, 2018. And he's Red Hat Certified System Administrator and Red Hat Certified System Engineer. Okay? If you pay attention, they all took the certification track in January, around that time. And this is what I say, the success ratio. Look at them, all of them in December, January, February timeframe, they completed the certification track that I started. And so it's not even, by the way, this is my favorite one. Papa कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा, but you're still unemployed. Make Papa proud. LinoopTek. All right. Make Papa proud. Join our course. All right. Enough of the marketing over here. This is not actually marketing, honestly speaking. I just want you to know that you have come to the right platform. Okay. And this is the video I did on AI. And I don't know how many views it got. Yeah, 5,000. The other ones got viral on TikTok. And these are real testimonies. These people over here telling you their life stories. I do not, honestly speaking, I do not like to bring on real testimonies because, you know, these people kind of made their way through the tiny streets and got into the IT industry. And I don't want to kind of expose, you know, how they got into the IT industry because I showed them ways. I put them front of the line. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they made it. Anyway, I want you guys to follow, like us, share this. And the only thing I request back, I expect back from you guys is spread the word. How long is the Red Hat course? The Red Hat course is for 6 months. We teach you Red Hat, we teach you DevOps. The kid that I was talking about, he's mashallah, my son, 22 years old, graduated from Rutgers. I'm not afraid to tell you, he has two offers on the table. He's here as a mentor as well. One for $140,000 base salary, another job for around 120 something, work from home versus in office. And I want him to go to cybersecurity track, get his master's in cybersecurity. And then down the road, I want him to do MBA in a leadership role. Ideally, I want him to become a CIO, Chief Information Officer, or CISO, Chief Information Security Officer. Or ideally, I want him to become CTO. These are all the leadership roles. They will pay you salaries close to $1 million sometimes, depending on what company you work for. And honestly speaking, I started off as a taxi driver in this country back in 97, 98. Was going through a lot, was just young man, 18 years old, looking for a direction in life. And I just found out that, IT will give me a good job. I didn't think of anything else. I just rushed. I just wanted to get somewhere. And no, in this domain, you do not need to have a bachelor's in information technology or in computer science. If you have some sort of bachelor, that will help you. Okay. But if you don't have any bachelor degree, you need certifications. Certifications are more respected in the industry than the bachelor degrees. My academic qualification when I started, I don't know if you guys like these stories or you want me to continue with the technical path. I don't want to, take over this and make it my time. This is your time. Okay. Yeah, there you go. These stories are basically there to help you, to guide you, because there are some of you who are completely lost. You don't have answer to these questions. Okay. And I just want to inspire some of you guys. Okay. I do this for you guys. I know what my stories are. So when I started, I was doing associates in computer science at Kingsborough Community College. I took my first class in C language. I failed it miserably. I got into a boot camp program. I took Unix training. In year 2000, I started working for AT&T Labs as a Unix system administrator, and I never looked back in my life. At some point, I was let go from my job in 2003, and then I had to make a decision to move to another state, California, and I actually packed my stuff and I went to California, and that's where I met a lot of great people, like the CTO of AT&T, whom I learned a lot. In 2006, I came back to New Jersey, came back right to my family, and never had to worry about my job anymore. In 2013, I started teaching because that was my passion. Okay. I did not have associate degree at the time I got my job. I completed my bachelor degree in 2012. And don't get me wrong, if you're a young person, I want you to be in college. I want you to finish your degree, and I want you to have a concrete, background, solid background. But if you are 30 plus years old, you're looking for a direction, you're looking for a job, you're looking to put food on the table for your family, you don't need to go to college. Going to college as 28, 29, 30 plus, it's not going to help you. You need to find one area, and these are some of the areas. Linux is always going to be your backbone. I don't care what you do. On top, you can do DevOps, tons of opportunities, and we are helping you with the DevOps. You can do cybersecurity. You can do AI. These are, in my opinion, the hottest domains out there. Oh, by the way, you can do cloud. Tons of opportunities in these areas. Okay. So continue to explore. My job is to give you foundation in Linux. My job is to show you the roadmap to all of these areas. You can decide. I'm going to leave you with one thing over here. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, and no matter you take this route, you take this route, you take this route, you take this route, You need to have a mentor in your life, somebody who can show you the pathway, because the road to success with these domains is not easy. There's tons of information. If you wanted to become a Linux DevOps guy, there's so much information available on YouTube, Udemy, you will be lost. You can never become a true DevOps engineer if you don't have a mentor guiding you, telling you, hey, learn this, don't learn this. Hey, focus on this. Hey, this is what they're going to ask you on the interview. It's always first learning the skill, and then second, breaking into the IT industry. Once you have your foot in the door, and if you're a hardworking person, opportunities will open up for you. There's no question about that. So you need a mentor in your life, somebody who works in the industry. The problem with the Desi community is they're not going to help you because there's something wrong with the Desi mentality. If they have it figured out something, they don't want somebody else to find out because it decreases their value. I don't know how that works. I've always been on the giving side. And when I give, my creator gives me a lot more in abundance. Back in year 2000, when I started working for AT&T, I opened up a class to all of my friends, and I went to the masjid and I said, hey, I'm teaching Unix, come. And I started to have 15, 20 students. When I started teaching them Unix, slowly, everybody walked away. I was charging them no money. I realized that these people will not listen, will not pay attention to the free stuff. For example, this class right now, pretty much half of the class is taking it seriously, half of the class is whatever. Okay. So, definitely, I'm here to be mentor for you guys, and I'm not alone. I have 500 people. I have group of alumni. If I make one call, I will line up 500 people right over here to help you, to guide you. What I do is I pair you up with a mentor. They hold your finger, they walk you through the pathway because they believe in giving. I have conditioned their mind. I've told them. Out of the 1,500 to 2,000 people that I trained, only connected ones are 500. 1,500 walked away. They don't care about anything what I am doing for the community. They don't care giving back. They don't want to look back. The only time they call me is when they are stuck somewhere. They don't know how to go up in their life, or they lose a job, then they call me. Otherwise, they're not connected at all. 500 people are connected on, alhamdulillah, on daily basis, and they seek, uh, so there are a lot of success stories. So now cybersecurity sounds very interesting. It sounds very sexy. Everybody wants to get into cybersecurity. But the thing with the cybersecurity is this: you are going to be safeguarding somebody's network, right? When this company that is hiring you to safeguard their network and applications and systems, they will go deeper into your background. How did you get into the cybersecurity domain? How did you learn this skill? Where did you apply your knowledge? It's difficult to break into this domain unless you have tons of certifications. Yeah, a lot of the cybersecurity jobs will drill deeper into your background. They will look at your experience. They will verify. They will ask you for the IRS tax papers. You cannot bullshit your way into this domain. That makes it difficult. Number one. Number two, learning cybersecurity is easy than DevOps. Let me say that. Learning cybersecurity is easier than DevOps. Problem with cybersecurity learning is it uses a lot of proprietary closed source applications. And there are a bunch of applications that you need to learn, and you need to be good at them. Those are licensed products. Those are not the products that you can install on your machine and start playing with. DevOps is all open source technologies. You can throw them on your machine. You can work with them like Linux, like Ansible, like Docker, like Kubernetes. It's nobody's proprietary information. It's readily available. When you become Linux DevOps, I say Linux DevOps because your backbone is going to be Linux. You will get Red Hat certified. And then you pick on one or two skills in DevOps, you have greater chances of getting into the market. Another thing I want to tell you is, because you're safeguarding the networks and applications, you will see the ratio in every organization is 10 to 1. 10 DevOps and Linux and cloud guys, 1 cybersecurity guy. Why? Because that's just the way it has been. You see a lot of jobs opening up with the defense, DoD, okay? And they're looking for cybersecurity specialists. The problem is you cannot take a boot camp for cybersecurity, show up at the defense job and say, hey, I have a 3 years of experience in cybersecurity. You cannot lie to them. Lying to federal agency is a punishable crime. Over here, hey, I'm not saying it, but hey, things get done. Okay? Somebody's willing to give you a chance over here. Somebody's going to put you under the microscope and see what germs you have and then make a decision. So, cybersecurity, strong academical background. Hey, I went to college, I have 4 years degree, then I did my certification in this. This is how I built my career. Hey, I went to college, I did a bio, stupid mistake of mine, did not like bio, got a mentor for myself, studied for Linux, became Red Hat certified, and then picked on other technologies. What's wrong with that? I'm here, ask me any questions. Works, demand, supply. Okay. All right, so this is a little bit of career counseling for you guys. I think this is very important for you guys to hear these things because it's very difficult to get hold of these people who actually know what they're talking about. Even a lot of the people that are working in the industry, they cannot help you. You know why? Because their knowledge is very, very much limited to their domain. They don't do this for a living. They are only 9 to 5 workers. They go to their office, they work on very one thing and they come back. They don't know what's going on in other domains. People like me who do this for a living, they know. They read up, they interact, they work with decision makers, they work with recruiters, they work with the industry leaders, find out where the trend is. How can somebody get in? They give you a chance to get into the industry. Referral bonus, referrals are there. Okay. This guy who's working in the industry, don't expect much from this guy. He's lost in his own world. All he cares about is his 150K salary, check coming in. That's it. Keep the wife happy. Everything is good. People like me, my job is to enable people. My job is to give you a career path. My job is to give you a solid career path. I charge money for that. Okay. It's not a charity work. I charge you money for that. Very simple. I charge you a very decent amount and I make my money worth it and I change your life. I give you a career path and I put you on a road to success. Everybody is a winner in this situation. All right, so we will talk about the fee at the very end, okay? Should I put all my focus on this program instead of worrying about a degree? If you're transitioning into the paid program at Linoop for DevOps, I don't want you to focus on your degree for now. Absolutely no. I want you to focus on this. I want you to get the certification. I want you to get the job. This is how we're going to play it. All right. Degree can come later when you're working for the organization, when they pay you to go to college. You're not going to pay out of pocket. All right. Could you please let me know the fee for the paid program? I'm going to talk about this toward the very last session on the last weekend. If you stick to the program, then I will talk to you. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And also, I want to give you a test. I don't want to talk to irrelevant people. So whatever I have taught you, I will be sharing those slides. There will be a link on YouTube. You already have the link to the slides. I'm going to update those slides with what I have. So take this chance seriously. There are not that many people who are passionate about teaching. There are not that many people who care about your life. This is what I do for a living. There's a reason I do this for a living, because I am passionate. Even though when I was not working as a teacher, I was always helping people. I was always helping people. So that's why I decided to quit my day job. I don't work for any organization. I work for myself. And this is what I do all day long. Therefore, anybody that has any question, that want to meet with me in person, I am in East Brunswick, New Jersey. We have a little hangout spot over there. I want you to come meet me in person if you're in tri-state. Okay. If you're coming from outstate, I will give you the bed and the breakfast as well. Come see me. I'm alive. I'm real. And I want you to come bring your concerns. And I will give you the best advice that's good for you. I don't want everybody in part of my class. I cannot take everybody in my class. I am going to give you a pathway to your success. If cybersecurity is good for you, I will guide you on that path. I will tell you, I cannot hold your finger, but I will tell you. But if you're part of my class, I have hundreds of mentors to help you to hold your finger down. Thank you so much. And I don't want to talk about money right now. I don't want to take your money right now. I don't want you to put down any money right now. I want you to just simply call at this number. If you send a message, voice message on WhatsApp, this comes to me. If you send me a message on Telegram on this number, it comes to me. I don't like talking to people over the phone. I like sending voice messages because A, it creates a record of what I said and what you said. And B, it's a lot faster. Okay. Same number for Telegram as well. Telegram is another application. You want to come see me? You want to discuss something with me? This is the number to contact me. Just simply send me a voice note saying, hey, Asad, I would like to see you. I'm going to be in the area. And I'm there Monday to Friday, usually with my team. And there's a lot of other people that come from the previous batches. They're sitting over there, they're doing their work. You can come see what they are doing. You can learn, you can ask them questions. And everything is honest. Everything is based on honesty at Linoob. I will never lie to you about anything. If I see there are no chances for you to succeed in this program, I will bluntly tell you that there is no chance for you to succeed in this program. And at the end of the day, I promise you, it's all about your mindset, how successful you want to be in life. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a TikToker. I don't say fancy shit. I mean real business. It's all mindset. I don't care whether you have a background in IT. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care. It boils down to only one thing: grit. Go learn about what grit is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time is 3:03 and we're going to end our session over here. I'm going to take some questions over here and we will continue to learn tomorrow. I have tons of other commands for you. We're going to repeat those commands and we're going to add more commands. I'm going to talk about the file system tomorrow. It's going to be fun learning day tomorrow. Thank you so much. And let's open up for the questions over here. If you have questions, hands up.